Kenny Johnson, Matthew Wells, Slip and Dip Podcast, Episode 8. Forgot the title of it. We'll think about it for the end of the show. Please check us out and go to the sportsjunkies101.com. Great website, got great content, and they're going to have us on there, so you know they're doing something. Shout out to them for giving us a landing page to showcase our talents. Man, what do you think about this? It's kind of a stagnant week, man. It's like the calm before the storm.
Yeah, it's a calm before the storm for sure. But, man, I would say that card we had last night was a little bit, it was lackluster for most of it. How much of it did you actually watch? Because I know a lot of people I was, kind of trying to keep up with. Some people in the writers group of MMA latest, they kind of fell asleep on it because it was boring.
I was, I ain't gonna lie, I was one of them, bro. I literally woke up right when they were calling Mark Super Samoan, huh? I literally woke up and watched him and my boy Black Beast, good guy, bad strategy, taking the L. I told you, it's funny. I didn't make this prediction on air, so I can't add it to the record. But I did not kind of call that fight yet again.
I mean, that it counts for me. It counts for me. You did say it. You said it on air. It counts as a win, another win on your main event picks. So I'm good with it. There's no complaints from me. I'm not going to contest it at all. But I didn't think, man. I didn't think it would go down like that. I really didn't.
I didn't think it was going to go as long as it did, but I knew he was going to keep making mistakes because Derek's a great guy, good fighter, but he's not top 5. He's top 10. He's right where he is, and it's just he has too many holes in his game to fight that way at that level.
Yeah. I would agree. He's got some things, man. It's just like surprising, like when we're in the lead up to the fight, man. It was just like, man, these two dudes are just gonna get in there banging out. And I guess part of the thing that I didn't really pay attention to as much as I should have, because obviously the big thing is that both guys can knock an opponent out at any moment, right?
Literally.
But the biggest thing I didn't pay attention to was like, man, I should have really I didn't really like break it down. I was just like, man, these two dudes get in there, it's just like somebody's getting knocked out. But you think about it, Mark Hunt's got so much more experience, so much more kickboxing experience, so much more technical striking experience. Like that's something that I should have thought about more when I was trying to decide who was going to win this fight. And I was trying to ride the train with Derek Lewis, man. Derek Lewis is one of those guys. He was kind of up there with Francis Ngannou, like those guys that we wanted to see get in there and fight for the title. But
I think Francis Ngannou beats on Mark Hunt. It's a young man's game. Once again, the young man there, he gets him. He's got enough strikings and diversity that he gets him out of there.
I agree. Yeah. Francis Ngannou, Mark Hunt, I don't think that would be very...
Wouldn't last long.
I mean, it would be entertaining because Mark Hunt, again, if Mark Hunt lands, you're in trouble. Like, no matter who you are. That's just fact. The dude hits like a brick house, man. It's incredible how much power he packs into that frame that he's got. But he's a big dude. He's a big boy. He swings hard. You know what I mean? But for that fight, I think the biggest surprise for me in that fight was that it went 4 rounds.
Oh, for sure. I was like, man, what's this thing going to end? I thought somebody would get caught with something. Kind of like how the Travis Brown fight went. It was like, okay, is this thing ever going to end? And then finally, my man Black Beast ran out of gas.
Yeah, absolutely.
This was a perfect 3-round fight.
It was, yeah.
He could have won. I think he could have won. It was with 3 rounds.
Who?
Black Beast.
Nah, I had him down every round if you're going by scoring.
Okay. I didn't really score.
Yeah.
I like half watched it. I wasn't on regular mode. I wasn't on UFC number pay-per-view mode.
Now, he may have won one of the rounds, but I saw some people out there scoring at 29-28 going into the 4th round. But the more people that I trust judging had it 30-27 for Hunt, myself included. But
I trust your opinion. I didn't like really, or it's like, so I was like kind of like doing
there were a lot of people. There were a lot of people, man, that were falling asleep on that card, especially in the prelims. If you tried to watch it,
bro, I would say I ain't attempt to, and I'm glad I did. It had some nice moments. You had the 10-minute fire. You had the dude that ran in there and kind of with that nice uppercut. But it's like like I know you're a guy that you like watching the guys come up and stuff.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like I need to see you bring something before I invest any energy in you. I need to see something. Like for instance, that guy I know. A lot of people don't really realize who he is. That guy's got my attention. I got to see him. He could be on the card of UFC 213. I'm gonna watch him. He's got my attention. But a lot of these up and coming people, it's like. You a welterweight on the prelims. Does that really gonna work against Tyron Woodley? Is that really gonna work against one of the boys? Like, why? No.
No, I mean, I do like seeing the entire card. I like to see who's up and coming. I like to see, obviously, who should be getting bonuses throughout the fight card. That's one thing I look for. And I also look for, as I kind of started that Mike Momentum piece, man, I like to see who's going to get on the mic and make some waves, try to make a name for themselves. That's a big thing, man.
Why is that, though? Because there's only like one Conor McGregor. He's kind of like, Aaron Anthony, there's only got one Diaz, though. It's kind of like it's lightning in a bottle so many times.
They don't have to do it necessarily like them. They can do it in their own unique way. Like, I scored, again, like, I'll recap it real quick. So last night,
what's your report card look like?
Man, last night, only one person called out anybody. Like, one person had a name. Just one person. That person was Mr. Derek Brunson. Now, he had a name, but he completely butchered the name. But he did have it. I think he said he wanted Antonio Carlos Silva when he was really trying to call out Shoeface Antonio Carlos Jr. So he mixed up the name a little bit. And, of course, we were having fun with it on Twitter. We were like, man, he just called out Antonio Silva, Antonio Bigfoot Silva, Anderson Silva, Antonio Carlos Jr. all at once, man. He was being efficient. Nah. But, yeah, I like the fact, like, if you have a name, like, if you watch his post-fight interview, man, like, he wasn't overly animated. He stayed within himself. Clean, concise answers, responses to the questions, called out someone, had a name ready. That's all I'm looking for. Have a name. Get us excited about who we're going to see next for you. Don't just go out there and say, oh, whoever the UFC wants to give me, it's fine. Whoever. Nah, man. Make your own legacy, man. Call out who you want. Make your own path.
Well, if you got some Alacanta craziness, though, like, that's funny, but in real big scheme of things, A, it's stupid. B, it's not really, it's funny, ha-ha, not funny, ha-ha.
Right.
It's like, this motherfucker is crazy. Ha-ha.
No, it's... I mean, when you do stuff like Ali Aquinta, that's unique in its own right. Like, that, he's taking it kind of like to the old Stone Cold Vince McMahon days, you know what I mean? He's like trying to fight the power, go straight at the boss with the middle fingers flying, you know what I mean? So, nobody else is doing it quite like that. Obviously, Conor McGregor gets on there, has the support of a whole country, can say whatever he wants. Nate Diaz get on the mic, F everybody. Al is just like F the powers that be. The UFC needs to recognize that I'm the man. As soon as they recognize that, the better off it will all be. So he's got that whole thing going for him, which I can support that, man. I can support that. Did you see the man coming off a long layoff last night? Vince Pichel, did you see his fight?
No, I saw how I think he's a guy. He knocked out the uppercut.
Yeah. He hit him with the two-piece backing up, caught him with the short left to pop his chin up, and then came straight right through with the right hand to put Damian Brown down. And he's got this whole gimmick going on where his nickname is From Hell, Vince From Hell Pichel, right? And he kind of goes into it too on the mic. He's like, I'm gonna unleash hell. It's gonna be crazy. Like, he's just going
I didn't see that for talking about he's gonna unleash hell in the whole division. I'm like, well, I barely know you, and I cover this sport for a living. Who are you?
He's been off for 3 years, man. He's had some injuries, and that was his first fight in a while. So to come back and get that type of knockout was a pretty big statement for him personally, with that long layoff. We'll see. As long as he can stay healthy, let's get back in there. 9-1. Now 10-1. I mean, we'll see, man. Keep an eye on the dude. It's good. One of the things we kind of touched on before we went live was Derek Brunson, right? And
not impressed.
I mean, it's kind of hard to be impressed when you go out there and you do, like, literally the reaction on Twitter that I saw as soon as he knocked out Dan Kelly, everybody was like, yeah. It was like, that's exactly what everybody thought it was going to happen.
Because Daniel Kelly has not really beat down nobody. He's basically he got a decision against, I don't want to say washed up Rashad, but it was a washed up Rashad. We saw that in person. We were okay side for that. And Jim, he looks like William Regal, not. I don't know how y'all got it. Maybe it's a language barrier. It was. Yeah. I was talking about Daniel Kelly, that's AKA William Regal. That's why he got knocked out.
I mean,
but I digress.
It worked either way for me. It worked either way for me because he was like Rashad was a champ that everybody knows was a champ, but really, do you remember Rashad as a champ as much as you do? Like, same with William Regal, man. I forgot that dude ever held a title in WWE, honestly. But,
well, Daniel Kelly though is just like the dad bod, what they want to say. Just he looks unathletic and he fought how he looked. He wasn't never even in the fight. I saw the fight on replay and it was like that was supposed to happen. You got a quick young man, hungry. You got almost a 40-year-old that need to hang it up. So that's what happens. I'm 9 times out of 10. I'm going with the young man in this game. I know MMA's young, so people don't realize when people need to hang it up. But Mr. Kelly needs to hang it up.
Yeah,
he's 40 years old. He barely in the top 15. He was in the top 15. So it's like, what you fighting for?
I mean, he was a big hit with all of the bettors in Vegas. All the people that like to bet on the fights, because he came through as an underdog like 6 times in a row, man, or so whatever it was, 5 times in a row, I think. He cashed in as an underdog, and so a lot of people were making money off of Dan Kelly. That was a big thing going around, but. The thing against Rashad, like, okay, we kind of going into that. I think we talked about it a little bit. We were kind of like, we don't know what we're going to see without Rashad. But then you're like, okay, here's Derek Brunson.
Yeah.
And like, man, hold on. This is, I wasn't really thinking like, man, maybe Dan Kelly can do the Dan Kelly, but at the end of the day, Derek Brunson is a dude that just knocks heads off and mashes forward.
But he's kind of a whatchamacallit, he's kind of that division version of Derek Black Beast Lewis. Like, did he really see? He every time he goes against somebody top 5, we don't see that. He goes somebody top 10 below, he smashes them. So it's like, how good are you, bruh?
No, I know what you mean. In that aspect, just like when he fights like the top opponents, yes. Obviously, technically wise, they're completely different. Completely different.
Oh yeah. I'm
like
not saying that.
Different. No, but I just wanted to clear that part up. But yeah, man, for the most part, it was exactly what I thought was going to happen, man. Exactly what I thought was going to happen. Derek Brunson, it's kind of to tag onto what you were saying there. What's next for him is a big question mark for me. I mean, obviously he called out Antonio Carlos Silva, which cool, set it up. I'll be cool with that because he had a name. That's good. But he's a guy, man. Like you were saying, when he fights that top level, doesn't look as good. Nah. And did you think he beat Anderson Silva that night?
I actually didn't, because what did he do? He might have scraped out the first round. He didn't do nothing in the last 2 rounds. So I don't know how people like, it was a bad decision. They gave it to Anderson. What did he do? What moment did he have that I just missed? Sitting in Barker, sitting in the 3rd row, by the way. K-side. So, like other people, I watch their fights. I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's like people wanted him to win, so they want to look for reasons for why he did win.
No, man, I mean, looking at the rankings right now, above him is Anderson Silva, so maybe you could do that rematch. Whatever, I'm over that. You got Chris Weidman. Chris Weidman's already matched up. You got Jacare, Mousasi, Whittaker.
That's the fight right there. If he could do what he did last night to Jacare, the same way Robert Whittaker did, then we talking about something.
Yeah, I mean, Robert Whittaker he starts Derek Brunson. I mean, that's just one of those fights where Derek Brunson looked like he didn't know what he was doing in there. I mean, you remember that, right? Like, he just kept charging forward, like, no technique whatsoever.
And
just
he threw that head kick on his ass.
Yeah, that was a very bad performance. I'm sure it's one that he would love to have back, but whatever, man. Give me shoe face and.
But I will say this though, he was beating on Romero But I think that's Yoel's game. I think that's Yoel's game. He let you think he go get him, and he comes some crazy stuff. But he was beating Yoel Romero before he got put to sleep.
Yeah, third round Romero, man. That's one of the strongest superlatives in MMA right now. It really is. Third round Romero. I'm telling you, getting a third round with Yoel, better watch out. Like, you about to get knocked out.
Sorry, you wasn't in New York, man. That's one of the most gangster things I've ever seen. All these people. Shout out Chris Weidman, very good dude. My man Weidman, he was putting in work on him. Goes in to shoot, throws the knee, get the fight stops. My man haul off and prances around the MSG cage, and they just booing the shit out of him. Just look at the crowd and his Cuban eyes and just. I'm like, this a bad man. And then the thing is, he flips over the cage and lands on his feet like he's a damn animal or something. Like, this motherfucker is like legitly athletic. He's a freak.
He's an action figure, man. That's what that dude looks like. That's how he moves. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing. And he's 40 years old too. That dude is timeless, man. It's something in that Cuban water, man. I don't know what it is.
We gotta get you to DeSanto. So what do you think about him? When you, like he said, when you saw to come to town, people don't look right or they don't fight the same.
No more superheroes, right? No more superheroes.
That's what he told y'all?
Yeah, that's what he told me, man. No more superheroes anymore. I mean, you know, I'd actually be cool running back Dos Santos and Mark Hunt while we got him on the brain. That'd be cool. That'd be a good matchup. Mark Hunt, Dos Santos. One other big occurrence from last night was Dan Hooker's knockout of Ross Pearson. I know you saw that highlight.
Yeah, Ross Pearson actually looked pretty good. He actually looked kind of technical, and it did not work out for him.
Problem was he was telegraphing that he was dipping way too low, like Mike Tyson, getting in super low. I mean, that works in a boxing match. It does not work when you can throw knees and kicks to the head. Dan Hooker took advantage.
Nope, it does not work out.
He timed it perfectly, man. Like, that was one of those knockouts. Like, as soon as it landed, yep, that fight's over. Like, there was no question about it. Just super clean knee. And he was so fluid, too, man. I love watching that knockout in slow motion. If you have not seen it and you are listening to this podcast, first of all, I don't believe you if you told me that. Second of all, go find the clip. Go find it. UFC.com has it on their Twitter page. So you can go there and watch it. But yeah, so that was pretty much the highlights for me. Ben 10 choked out Tim Elliott in just a few seconds. Tim Elliott went the distance with Mighty Mouse, so that was kind of surprising.
I think Tim Elliott was kind of feeling. He had the little strut to the octagon. It's like, bruh, you did get your ass cut before the show.
That's his demeanor, though, man. He's always looked like that. Like, that's him to the T. Like, he's always like, "Hey, I'm here. I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna get overly excited. Let's do the damn thing, and whatever happens, happens." Like, that's Tim Elliott, man, and he fights like that too.
Yeah, tell me this in general, as you know, there's two things that I don't get about fans and fighters, as you know. First of all, for fans, watch the damn fight. People be commenting off shit. Well, I heard such and such. I think such and such. Watch the damn fight. And then for the fighters, like the whole Tyrant, I think I'm one of the few people that was really feeling the Tyrant and Wonder Boy 2 because it was a very technical affair and people want to boo. What the hell's cool about getting hit? Tim Elliott is a prime example. Because he probably could have won the fight just fighting very conservatively, would have been boring. Are you trying to get your hand raised? Or are you trying to put on the show? As you seen before in person, tell them, Matt, how we see backstage, fool don't know where the hell he's at, don't even know he's in Las Vegas, they got knocked out. Them same people that he trying to entertain don't care nothing because he want to sit here and take chances and get hit. What is cool about getting hit? I asked y'all a question. When somebody answer that question, tell it to you, holla at your boy.
Question of the day.
What is cool about getting hit?
What is cool about getting hit? I'll tell you what's cool
Boxing
about
or MMA.
I'll tell you what's cool about getting hit. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing is cool about getting hit.
So what do you think when people be booing like Tyron and Wonder Boy? A bad move on Tyron's part, he gets his head kicked off and he's on a UFC promo for Wonder Boy's next fight. A bad move by Wonder Boy, he's on another promo after getting caught again, which basically what happened to him at the end of the last 30 seconds. But what if he did that like in the first minute? What do you think about when people be booing on stuff like that? And it really is like them dudes' livelihood.
I hate the booing. I hate it. Period. Like, listen, there's a reason. Unless if you're a UFC fighter who's actually booing, which will never happen because they're fighters and they know how the shit goes. If you're sitting in the crowd and you've never put on a pair of gloves, you've never taken a single mixed martial arts class, you've never put on a gi, you have no right to boo. And yeah, there's people out there that say, oh, they bought their ticket, they can do whatever they want with it. How about have some damn respect? Because you don't have the guts to get in the cage and do it yourself. If you, like, booing to me, like if you're booing something, you're telling me I can do a better job than what you're doing right now. There's not a single person, again, UFC fighters excluded, that were in attendance, that can do a better job. That's the only thing I love about, well, that's not the only thing, but that's one of the things I love about watching shows in Japan, because Japanese crowds, they don't boo. It could be the most boring fight in the world, but they'll still sit there and they will just sit there, wait for a little bit of action. And as soon as a little bit of action happens, golf claps all around. You know what I mean? So
I know you take that stuff seriously.
Yeah, man. It's like you can't sit there and tell me like that was really that boring. And we saw it through a different lens than people sitting at home, because it is a different atmosphere when you're sitting right there cage side and you see these guys moving in front of you. So you're more locked in because you're like waiting for that moment. But if you're sitting at home like me last night watching some of these undercard fights, I'm like, oh.
Who won the lady fight? The JJ Aldridge.
She fought a teenager, newcomer teenager. I'll pull up her name right here. Chan Mi Jeon. And you know she's got a little gangster in her. Jeon does, but she's too young right now. She's got to fix some technique. That was one of the better fights of the night, actually. But it was so early, like everybody forgot about it. And it was a double FS1 show, which means nothing but commercial breaks for 15 minutes in between fights. So, you know, people kind of forgot about that one. But it was a pretty entertaining fight. JJ looked really good. She looked really good, man. She was solid. Yeah.
Is it home Korea? Is that Fight Pass?
Yes, Fight Pass only.
Hey man, maybe we can watch it together live stream.
Hey, we could probably do that. Get the stream fired up like we got going right now on YouTube. Shout out to all the viewers. Hit us up. We got our Twitter handles. Kendrick's got his right above his head. I got mine right here. Follow us on Twitter at Mr. M Wells Art for myself. Kendrick is at Kendrick Johnson.
No N,
just like it says right down the screen if you're watching along.
Please send some questions so we can interact with y'all.
Absolutely. Shoot some questions. We would love to interact. Any questions? We'll touch on this fight card here in a minute. The home Korea. But I think we got some more pressing issues to discuss right now. Your man, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, and the UFC.
I'm scared to call him, man. I'm scared to. I'm not scared. I just don't want to. I don't want my name to get associated with anything because I'm like, man, if I call him, I got to do a story. He's getting the bad side of the deal. I see why he came out. But at the other end of the day, you don't make the damn fights. And if you that good, because he's always said, when somebody come to 125, you make 125. I'll deal with anybody at 125. I'm not going to go up. It's going to cost. You don't have to pay me $1 million to move up. So TJ Dillashaw is coming down. Now you talking about you worried about him making weight, and he's never missed weight in his career. So it's kind of like, what are you scared of? Just because he's the bigger dude, or what? I will say this: somebody saying that he's scared for him to be the best pound for pound fighter. That's a legit statement because. He ain't trying. The fact that you keep throwing out Ray Boy gotta give him a couple $1,000. Much he throw his name out there. He went from who's Ray Boy to like okay, like I understand you didn't corner the market, but I just think it comes down to he had to have better business sense than what he has. Like, there's no sense the reason that's his fault. The fact that he's not let them pay him pay-per-view points. At the end of the day, he is the best pound-for-pound fighter in UFC and has been in the top 3. So, yeah, Dana White and them sit there and say, yeah, well, you don't sell shit, da-da-da. That's not your job. His job is to be like that drug dealer. He's supposed to have the best drug in the world, and people like his drug, and his drug sell a lot for the UFC, it sell for y'all overseas, whatever. That's not on him. His job is about the best drug in the world. His drug pretty potent.
I could not disagree more. Could not disagree more. I mean, I get that angle, and that's Dana White's angle right there. You know, he needs to do more, whatever, yeah, yada, yada, yada.
It's a business, bro. It's a business.
And that business is in the business of promoting their fighters. And if you're gonna sit there and tell me that a $1 billion company cannot promote the number one fighter in the world and get people to build the audience through their massive marketing machine that they're not utilizing Demetrius Johnson for worth a damn, like, it's BS, man. You can't tell me that that's a legitimate thing. And, like, I get that whole angle of, like, oh, his pay-per-views don't sell. Well, you're not marketing him. Like, if you gave him the same amount of marketing that you give to a Conor McGregor, I guarantee people will catch on. But you have to make it tailored to him. And his thing is gaming. You can attach gaming to it. Gaming is bigger than it's ever been in the history of life right now with Twitch and everything. He's got the Twitch channel. Man, like, you have to tap into his market and what he gets passionate about. Conor McGregor gets passionate about money and being flashy. Demetrius Johnson gets passionate about video games. Yeah, people will connect with passion, man.
I agree with you there, but at the end of the day, like, you post, like, I see exactly what you're saying, but my whole thing is, like, okay, say for instance he retires today. He a little bitty dude that play video games that can fight. Like, nobody really for him to be done what he has done for the sport and basically be a legend in MMA, he really doesn't have a name, and that's kind of on him. Like, you have to have other things from, or like, for instance, like Cowboys. I know this is a whole nother sport, but when the Cowboys were winning, yeah, everybody knew who Emmitt Smith was, everybody knew who Michael Irvin was, but they all had, like, TV and radio shows. Look what Michael Irvin doing. Look what Troy Aikman doing. Emmitt didn't have a TV or radio show. He's sitting there talking about blowed out on national TV. Nobody see Emmitt on national TV no more because he went out there. Yeah, he was a great running back, one of the best all time. Shout out Cowboy fans, we love you. I'm a Cowboy fan too, so is Matt. But Emmitt didn't do his shit. That's kind of how Mighty Mouse is. Yeah, you're a great fighter. You got the stats, got the most title defenses or tied or whatever. But, bruh, it's more than just fighting in this game. And a lot of people don't get that.
Yeah, I mean, that is true, man. That is true. But being your own marketing machine can only take you so far. It can only take you so far. Like, prime example right now would be a guy like Ali Aquinta, for example. He's going out there saying all the right things. He's got the social media backing. Everybody's, like, digging this whole, screw the man promotion that he's got going on. But at the end of the day, if you want casual fans to connect to him, the UFC has to put them at the forefront of the brand. Like, it's just that simple. You have to put his face on your product. And then that's going to bring in more casual fans. Tell that person's story. Make it interesting. Let people connect. You did that with Conor McGregor, and Conor McGregor blew up. Yes, Conor McGregor went out there, said all the right things on the mic, had these spectacular performances, knocked out Jose Aldo in 13 seconds, but at the same time, you gave him that promotional push. You gave him that year-long worldwide press tour before that fight with Jose Aldo. When's the last time they gave any press tour to Demetrius Johnson? When's the last time?
Negative.
Meanwhile, actually, what they're doing with Demetrius Johnson is, hey, come in, we're going to shoot a commercial for you. You can shoot this commercial for 2 hours at a time, and guess what? We're not even going to use that commercial.
But on the UFC side, they're trying to give him a mega fight. That's a I don't want to say a dream fight, but there's some people that want to see TJ Dillashaw him. It's not like they're not trying to give him nothing, and it probably his biggest payday. So he's one of the people that he's a really good guy, very great guy, and good family man. And he's always talking about he fight for his wife and his kids. Bruh, even you take a L, you might walk away with the $1 or $2 that you don't got. So it's not like they just saying, hey, F you gonna fight him, and oh yeah, you ain't gonna get paid nothing. He ain't gonna get a career high. So I can't feel sorry for somebody that probably break $1 million, if not $2, and have a mega fight. So it's kind of like, what is your deal?
I think the problem is this.
They definitely wrong way they doing it. I agree with you. I see both sides of the coin.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Like, he is the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world, and he is not getting pay-per-view points. Listen, if you want to solve that very simply, all you have to say is, okay, we'll give you pay-per-view points, but you got to hit this certain number. End of the conversation. Right there. Boom, you got your pay-per-view points, but you got to hit at least your average of your previous pay-per-view numbers. You at least set that target number, whatever it is, say 250,000 buys. Like, okay, Demetrius Johnson agrees to that, but also Demetrius Johnson has to be smart enough to say, I need X amount of minutes of promotional time. I need at least two to three different commercials promoting this fight leading up to the pay-per-view. I'm not just going to take your word for it and say, hey, here's this super generic fight poster with Demetrius Johnson and TJ Dillashaw on it, and that be it. Like, no, you got to put that on there. Yeah,
I'll be scarred.
Right?
I'm already walking up at 143 pounds.
But listen, if the UFC is not going to give Demetrius Johnson the money, man, that's the main thing. DJ said himself when he was talking to Ariel on the MMA Hour, he said, I'll fight TJ Dillashaw. I don't care about that. It's just about the disrespect, about not giving me the money I want. I'm already the number 1 pound for pound fighter. I'm on the verge of breaking the title defense record, and I'm not getting promoted, and I'm not getting pay-per-view points, and that's a bunch of BS.
Oh, he's 3,000% correctly, but at the same time,
so for that, I support it.
You don't got. There's only one person that can beat the machine. That's what these fighters don't understand. They talk about Conor McGregor this, Conor McGregor that. First of all, every time he get in the cage, he does something. He's must-see TV.
Yes.
But most important from the business side is he's got the clout. He's got the numbers. Everybody's like, oh, he talks about his numbers. 1.5 mil, 4 pay-per-views in a row. That's some Floyd Mayweather stuff. Hence why Mayweather-McGregor will be happening in November. That's a whole other thing.
Again, on the heels of a worldwide press tour. On the heels of commercials after commercial.
You're right. It did start the auto fight.
It started with all of the, almost damn near every marketing dollar the UFC had towards one guy. So the machine created the beast that took over the machine, and now he's running it. And hence, while you were holding a world title, and you were not even, your title defense isn't even on the horizon. You're talking about fighting Floyd Mayweather. So the machine created Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor took over the machine.
You got a point there. You got me on that one, but my man, Manny must got to do more than just beat people, man. That's more of the game. Like, you want to go all of Angela Maganda, which he won't because he's a respectful guy and a great dude, and you don't want to be talking against the noise, but at the end of the day, it's more than just fighting. When somebody up and coming gets it and has the skills to go with it, we're going to see a bad person. Because somebody's going to come through. It could be a foreigner. Hopefully it's American. But somebody's going to come through. They're going to have some skills. Like John Jones can talk like Conor McGregor. And then they could go. And then if people don't good them, they could go heel like Daniel Cormier. But at the end of the day, they can fight. That's what's going to be that next person. They're not in the UFC now. I put money on it. It's somebody that's going to come up in the next 3 to 5 years. It could be a female. It could be someone like that got some Ronda in her, but she can actually throw bombs and got a ground game or something like that. But there's somebody that's studying this game right now. No. I will not be that lady. I will not be that guy. And they're going to learn from these fools' mistakes. And we're going to be laughing like, oh, this motherfucker got the game conquered. That's what's going to happen. That person's not in the UFC right now.
You got a great point. With that. It's got to be somebody that's coming up, somebody that we haven't even heard of or thought of. I mean, look how it can happen really quickly too. You look at Alexander. You look at what's his name, light heavyweight. Man, I'm drawing a blank right now.
Oh, light heavyweight. That's for Francis.
That light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight.
Wow.
Talking about the Russian dude.
Man, I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm drawing such a blank.
I don't know, light heavyweight.
They
came up fast?
Yes, like 3 fights in. I think I almost said his name, but I don't want to butcher it.
The Russian dude?
No, he's Swiss.
Okay, no problem. We go to the female
side.
Volkan
Ozdemir.
Yeah.
Two fights in, he's ranked number 4 already.
but on the female side, Cynthia Calvillo, and she's got a story. She's a Latina. She's got a nice story. She's Paige Van Zandt's trading partner. She's finishing chicks. This lady was fighting Legacy in in February here in Dallas, and then now she's already about to be on her third pay-per-view card, and she's co-maining. And it's July. Like, who does that?
That's true. Like, it doesn't take much to come up, man. We're in a weird spot right now. And actually, let's table this really quickly before I steer too far off of my additional point I want to make about T.J. Dillashaw, Demetrius Johnson. We'll get right back to that.
Who you got if somebody win that fight? I got T.J.
I mean, I would have to go with T.J. But here's my other issue from T.J.'s side of the coin. This was a guy who was at the front of the Fighters Union talking about fair treatment and trying to overcome bullying tactics from promotions. And all of a sudden, he's here at the forefront saying, "Oh, why are you too scared to fight, DJ? Too scared to fight, huh? Like, screw your unfair treatment from the UFC. Why don't you get into a cage and fight me, huh?" Like, come on, bro. Like, you were the face of a union movement, and you're doing this to a fighter yourself. Like, if that isn't more snakish than, you know, his nickname of being a snake already, like, come on, man.
But they need to get a union. So that's what really needs to happen. Like, they should boycott. Hey, we're gonna boycott UFC 213. Don't do that. Wait till at least 214 to do something like that. But that's the only way things are gonna change. I'm talking about there's gonna have to be a pay-per-view where you got like a McGregor or John Jones attached to it, and everybody in the card. We're not gonna fight until we get this deal done.
Yeah,
that they have to do something drastic, or no, it's not gonna win. Because, like, remember we joked about this before. It used to be a rumor that the UFC was worth billions of dollars. We know it's no rumor no more. A year later, and nobody's capitalized all that. So as they say in the streets, they got that cake. Yeah. Now they need to get a plan to be able to get some of that cake. It's gonna take some people swallowing that pie and taking one for the team if they really want to do it. So somebody like the Conor McGregor and the John Joneses, the cats that are established that it doesn't really matter, they're going to have to bust their egos and basically take one for the team to help the others out if they really about doing the right thing. Because, like, for instance, like the fighter retreat, I know people got stuff going on. John Jones not going. Conor McGregor not going. But this whole Fighters Union thing, they got to be part of it. It won't happen. It'll be the same old.
Yeah, and that's part of the problem, man. Their egos are too big to where they don't care. I mean, like, they just don't care. Like, they got millions in the bank already. Like, what is a union going to do for them? And, I mean, it just has to be one of those things, man. It's going to take somebody to be at the top like that to say, hey, let me help all these other guys. Let me help all these other guys reach respectable levels of treatment. You know, just things like that have to happen. It's going to take someone special. You know, God bless Leslie Smith right now, man. She's constantly out there trying to push that movement. But her fight record doesn't support, you know, the top of the game, top of the heap. But she's going to be one of, like I said that a while back, man. She deserves an award when it does happen. She needs to be, like, on that Mount Rushmore or whatever. Like,
is that serious?
Yeah, I'm serious, man, because she is constantly trying to make this thing happen, and she's constantly, you know, fighting for support of a union. And when it does happen, man, she deserves to be the one with that standing ovation. I'm telling you, man, she's the one. But back to what we were saying. What were we saying before I kind of tabled it, and now I forgot what we tabled. Oh, my God.
Yeah, crunk up in here.
All right. Anyways, yeah, man, Demetrius Johnson, T.J. Dillashaw. Where did we kind of dovetailed off into a different conversation?
Well, we were talking about Holly and Betch, the next card.
Yeah, no, before that though, we were saying something else. Man, this is great podcasting right now. We usually have notes up on the screen. Oh, that's another side note, by the way. I got a lot of comments from our people that thought we were not in the same room. We are actually literally sitting 4 feet away from each other for those people watching this video. So I'm sitting here at my desk. Kendrick's sitting on my little couch right here. Got the laptop in front of him set up. So we are in the same room. Yes.
And let me chime in. Help us grow the show. The more we grow, the better you know. Help us grow the show.
Absolutely. We can only get bigger and better with your support. So that is how the show grows. Obviously, listens, downloads, shares, likes, subscribes, all of that stuff. Show some love, people. Show some love. All right. Let's do it, man. Let's go ahead and get into this UFC Singapore card, Fight Pass only card coming up. Main event. Holly Holm, former UFC bantamweight champion of the world, Craig, against
Craig,
number 11, Best Correa.
I got Holly, and she's tailor made because Beth doesn't have a reach. She's not technical enough, and if Ronda can knock her out, and we know Ronda's not the best striker in the world, what do you think a 20-time boxing champion gonna do? I rest my case.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. That's pretty much the only breakdown you need of this fight. Like, there's nothing I can see Best Correa bringing to the table to surprise Holly Holm, who's the most technical striker in this whole division. Obviously, Chris Cyborg can't make it down there, so she doesn't count. But if you're talking about technical strikers, there's 3 that come to mind when I'm talking about fighters, female fighters in the UFC, and that is number 1,
Joanna Young JJ champion.
Okay, there's 4. Johanna Jędrzejczyk, Holly Holm. I know a lot of people don't like her right now because of things. Jermaine Durandamy, and of course Chris Cyborg. Those are the only ones I can think of when I'm talking about pure technical strikers that can just go in there and box. Strike with anybody, kickbox, whatever have you. Those are the ones. I don't know anybody else. If I'm missing somebody, let me know.
No, yeah, I don't put Mojama Eunice in there because she's a good striker. I give it to her. Carolina. Or no?
There was a time I would agree with you. Not anymore.
Okay.
Not anymore. Not after that last fight. Not after that last fight, man. Like.
Claudia said she don't get her name in there. I liked her way, her strategy, not to go off base. I like her strategy for when she's coming at JJ. Take your time. She already took 2 L's. She ain't trying to take another one.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the Singapore card, man, that's one thing about the UFC that I don't get. I guess as I cover boxing, like they just having shows to have shows.
They have a massive roster, man. I mean, it's completely different because, like, in boxing, you're pretty much locked in for 12 rounds almost damn near every fight. So it's like you can't put on 10 fight cards. You can't put on 12 fights in a night. Like, MMA is a completely different animal, man. A fight can end in 10 seconds. Like, who's going to shell out $60 on a pay-per-view for a fight that's going to last like that? So that's why they put so many shows on, so many different fights, man. You never know what can happen.
Yeah, but what they need to get better at is, especially with the pay-per-views, is geographical location and timing. Like, for instance, like they're trying to do this whole Mighty Mouse thing in Seattle. Like, say if it doesn't work out, they should be able to schedule another fight in Seattle for them to fight.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Kind of how the WEC kind of did the thing with Uriah Faber, which that's what helped make him a star. He was fighting Sacramento. He was finishing people. He became that dude. I know he's ahead of the game and stuff, and he's a great fighter and a pioneer, but they need to do more of that versus, like, you're fighting in Singapore, Russia. Singapore, you're fighting in Russia. Oh, Joanna, yeah, you're from Poland, but we want you to fight over here in Bismarck, North Dakota. You know, like, whatever.
Dallas, Texas, baby. Now, I can kind of see what you're saying there. I can kind of see what you're saying, but
it would help blow up a lot more people.
I could see that. I mean, they try to do it like anytime like they come to these cards. Like, for example, prime example is this one in Singapore. There's a whole bunch of local fighters on here, man. So it's like they do give the showcase.
Who's Lucy?
Lucille Pudilova. I hope I just didn't butcher her name. Her nickname's Bullet. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yi Jeon Kim. A little silhouette there. And we got a double silhouette fight. Naoki Inoue and Carlos John D. Tomas. All right. Okay, never heard of either one of those guys. And as by the dual silhouette, they're both newcomers. Both undefeated. So that's interesting.
Yeah, but for the people in the live stream, this is what your boy going to be doing. I'm already looking at it right now. It's kind of like...
But they're both 125ers, so it's probably going to be a lot of fast movement. I don't know. Both undefeated. That makes it interesting to me.
Check me out this one.
You be falling asleep on that,
bro. Just looking at the cards already, like put me asleep. Like,
well, I mean, the main card's nice.
These cats,
main card's nice. Russell Doan's pretty fun to watch. Kwanho Kwak, I believe it's how you pronounce his last name. Pretty decent. Frank Camacho, man, this dude is supposed to be pretty good right here. He's supposed to be pretty good. He's got the silhouette thing going on, but that's gonna be an interesting one to watch. I guess the Leech. Justin Scoggins, Oka Sasaki. Scoggins should starch this guy. He should. We got Bruce Leroy on there. Facing another newcomer.
Not a good fighter.
Facing another newcomer. And then we got the big boys, Cyril Asker, Walt Harris. That should be a knockout in the first round, possibly. Takanori Gomi back on there against John Tuck. That's good. This is a surprising thing for me, man. You think about the drop-off for Rafael dos Anjos. This dude had the belt, lost the belt, and now he's not even the co-main event on a Fight Pass only card. He's the first fight on the main card of a Fight Pass show, which is, man.
Yeah, get it wide top, bro.
All the mighty have fallen. The mighty Rafael dos Anjos has fallen. And he's facing Tarek Saffiedine, who's a solid fighter, but, man, there's not a single performance of Tarek Saffiedine that I can think of where I'm like, man, you got to watch that Tarek Saffiedine fight. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But Colby Covington, I think he'll actually starch Dong Hyun Kim. And not absolutely starch, but I think he will go out there and shock a lot of people that haven't heard of Colby Covington. Of course, co-main event, big boys, Tybura and Arlovsky.
You think Arlovsky hangs it up and gets put to sleep?
I think Arlovsky's done, son. I think he's done. I like the dude a lot. He's got a lot of mileage. Tybura is a young dude coming up, Polish fighter. He's looked great in his performances so far in the UFC. This is going to be that statement win for him so far.
So are you? Is it me or you finally going on to my way of thinking on this MMA game? You finally see?
No, there's some fighters that I agree with. Age is a factor. Arlovsky is one of them. Arlovsky's one of them. I don't see him winning this fight, man. Especially the way Marcin Tybura has looked lately.
Is there any way that Betch wins?
Wow. No, I don't see how she wins. Like, her submission game isn't all that great. Striking wise, no. Like, Betch is not an athletic fighter.
Nah, not at all.
She has very, very poor athleticism, and you can see that on any of her training montages that are out there. There's people that have obviously taken them and had their fun with it. It's just not a good. I'm sorry. I don't see how she wins the fight. I really don't. Holly Holm, yeah, she's had some bumps in the road, but this is where she gets back on the winning ways, man. This is where she wins another fight. I don't know what the hell they're going to do with that 145-pound division. I don't know why they even have a belt for that right now.
I agree with you. Yeah, as you like to say, Harley's going to start her.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely is. And
can we segue to the boxing rings? It's very quiet, like crickets.
It's crickets.
And then going on, really. But we have some news outside the ring. It's official, ladies and gentlemen. Canelo Triple G, September 16th, T-Mobile Arena. Your boy will be there. Where will you be?
Man, I'm mad. I'm mad about this. I was hoping they were going to bring it to Dallas.
Too much big business in Vegas, man. That's why it's called the fight capital of the world.
I hear you. But there's a lot of big business in Dallas when it comes to fights, too. Saw that with UFC 211. Sold out. What do you think a boxing match with Canelo and Triple G would do in Dallas? They could put that in Jerry World.
They could. They would do 85, maybe even 90,000 plus. But as far as from a financial standpoint, Jerry Jones would get a guaranteed $30 million. Why the hell does he need $30 million and he ain't getting hit in the head? He ain't doing nothing but smiling. Talking about how about them cowboys buy you some beer.
Yeah, that is a little interesting. That number would be that high for one. But I mean, it's Jerry World. Of course, he's gonna want his own piece of the pie. Put on a fight that big in my hometown, man.
Oh, your mommy. Ward Kovalov 2, Saturday. I don't think it's going to be close. I think Andre Ward figured him out. He knows what he's in for, and he's gonna bust his ass and let people know the first win wasn't a fluke. Cause a lot of people hated on him. I was supposed to be out there. Fortunately for me, I had to cancel because I got some business engagements that would help me in the show and everything. I'll keep y'all posted to that. It's as they say, it's TBA, bruh.
It's TBA. Man, I was looking forward to you being out there and getting some content. But, things happen, things come up. I mean, I guess the next fight card that either one of us will be at will be the show up here in Kansas City for UFC.
Kansas City, Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City.
Man, you trying to get me go? You trying to get me goes 4 states over, bro?
Oklahoma City.
Kevin Lee. We will get him on this show once he get done fighting. I'm putting it in your hands since you know him. I got people on my team. I'm cool with Kevin, but he's definitely on your team. So I'm gonna enlist you with that. I'm gonna let you be the spokesperson on that.
No, we'll get him on for sure. So anything else in the boxing world? I know we kind of just touched on those few things real quick.
The Ward Kovalev fight is a mega fight because a lot of people don't realize those are what's considered by the ring pound for pound rankings that I had the pleasure to vote in. Those are considered the 2 best boxers in the world right now, pound for pound. So their clash in November was controversial. Sergey Kovalev put Andre Ward on his ass for the first time in his career. Second round, he got up like the champion that he is. Bit down that map piece, got to work, figured him out about 6th round, and from the 6th round on, won every round to overcome getting knocked down and losing most of the first rounds. I had a 114, 113 on my card. A lot of people had a draw. A lot of people had Kovalev winning. Very few had Ward winning. So we're gonna see if Andre Ward is and still, or we're gonna have an and new. At the end of the day, I think it's gonna be and still unified, light heavyweight champion of the world, Andre SOG Ward. Add to that spectacular record. Man,
I agree. I agree with you on that. I think Ward is gonna get the W. Man, what do you think about him? Kovalev calling him a fake champion though. What do you think about that?
Kovalev got all kinds of issues. He don't like brothers. He ain't said nigga a couple times. He's a sore loser. He has a legit gripe, but at the end of the day, you making it personal and this and that, you had your opportunity. He thought once he put Andre Ward on his tail, he wasn't going to get up. And then when he got up and fought him, it was like, boom.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just gonna watch the fight, watch it play out. I'll be excited to see how it happens. I do have Ward winning. But I'm expecting a good fight, man. I think it's going to be another good weekend for boxing. Boxing so far has trumped MMA in every aspect of the game this year, putting together the biggest fights possible. And hell, boxing is even pulling away MMA's biggest star right now. So, I think it's another solid weekend for boxing coming up for us, and I think we'll have a lot to talk about on episode 9 about this fight in particular. So
when is your? I know what World Kovalev 2 is going to be Saturday night. So when's the Fight Pass?
Sunday.
No,
it's Saturday. Sorry.
Oh,
Saturday.
What time?
Oh, so that's the thing, right? That's the thing. That's the thing.
You got multiple hats.
Okay, so check this. UFC Fight Night in Singapore for us here in Central Time. First fight kicks off at 3:30 in the morning.
Hey, I'll come over and check it out if your old lady don't get mad as a kick aside. Or do you have to go to work?
I have to hit the grind. So I may miss that main card when it airs, but I'll be watching the prelims.
So you can shoot your fight password info so I can be ghetto.
Hey man, we don't do illegal activities like that since we're broadcasting live on YouTube and streaming on multiple podcast things. We don't do illegal things here.
You pay for it, so what's illegal?
You can't share your login information.
Oh,
man.
My bad. I ain't got one. I don't even know. So what about Saturday night? Do you want to go to sports bar and check out Ward Kovalev? I know one in Dallas.
Possibly. Yeah, we'll see it depending on what time I get home.
It's a pay-per-view.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we may hit up the B-Dubs or the Hooters, whatever's the one showing it around here. I usually watch it at home. No illegal activity over here. No illegal activity, I promise. But yeah, we'll figure that out as that day progresses. Hopefully, everything goes smoothly at work, and I'm able to get off at a decent hour. So the 9 to 5 grind is real, even on a Saturday. That's how it goes, man. What were some other big things going on, burning up the scene on MMA? I wanted to touch on one other thing, and I am kind of drawing a blank on it right now. Which, again, great podcasting right now. We usually have the show notes up on our big screen here. Yes, we have these 2 screens that you're seeing on the live stream right now, but we also have projector up so we can kind of share information. And we just didn't put out notes today for some reason. Yeah. Anyways. Man, what was it? Ooh. Drawing a blank. Bang. Man, anyways. I don't know. I'm trying to think, and it's just not coming to me. I apologize. And I still hate that. I know we did mention something. I tabled the discussion. We didn't get back to it. Again, just terrible. Sorry. I apologize. I do apologize, but we ran through Demetrius Johnson. That was the biggest thing. Francis Ngannou. Oh man, did you see what he said about Derek Lewis? Because they had a feud going on. They had a little back and forth going on. So Francis Ngannou, I mean, obviously English isn't his first language, but he got on Twitter, man. Started talking a little trash. And he said, essentially, I'll translate it into a little bit of non-broken.
He doesn't understand me, so me and Francis we can't communicate.
Yes. Oh man!
Shout out to my man Ariel Wani, my translator. We up in UFC media circles. Do what? I don't understand. What did you say? So,
that was one of the funniest things. Oh man. Yeah, you and Francis, man, y'all just need to hang out. Y'all need to have like an embedded crew follow y'all around for a weekend and see what comes out of it. That's what needs to happen. Francis took to Twitter, man. He said basically he only beat Lewis said I beat Arlovsky because he's 37 years old, but Mark Hunt's 43 years old and beat you like a baby. Little zinger from the big Francis Ngannou right there. But man. And then, of course, people start piggybacking that train, saying that right now Francis Ngannou would destroy Derek Lewis. Which, another thing on Derek Lewis, man, I didn't know he had that lower back issue.
Yeah, I think so. I may try to get something or tip off my people at the Sports Junkies on 101. Check them out, Sports Junkies, JUNKIES. Good website. That's what they're trying to pick us up, show us some love. Try to let them know, get something. Maybe they can get some on their site, get some inside story about that. Because I don't think he's retired, but I do think that back is going to catch up with him. Because another thing too, he wins these fights. We like watching him smash, but he's been in some wars already. His career is pretty I won't say mediocre, but it's not long.
Right.
That takes a toll with we got a 250-pound man smashing your ass, regardless if you win or not. That catches up with you sooner or later.
It does. It definitely does, man. I mean, those are big dudes in there. Obviously, it just came to me. Ding, 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 ding.
Yes,
sound the alarms. Oh my God, we're talking about the man and what he said after the fight, man. He said he's done. It's probably my last fight in the UFC. My question to you: do you believe him?
Negative. He want too much money. He's a guy that doesn't even fight for championships and stuff. A lot of people don't realize, like, these guys that get these $50,000 bonuses and stuff. Like, yeah, that doesn't change your life, but yeah, if you wake up that next morning, I really want to go to the gym. You kind of making what some people make in a year. You may just because you went balls to the walls with Mark Hunt in his country in Australia or whatever. So I think he wants that lifestyle. She's like he's about to get married. It's kind of an emotional thing, but I think we'll see the Black Beast back in the cage.
Yeah, I don't really put too much stock into a fighter saying that they're going to retire, especially after a loss, especially when they have other life events going on around that fight. Like you said, he was gonna get married next week, and I mean, Derek. Yeah, if you know his story, like he's always said, he wanted just to make enough money to pay off his house, and then he really planned on dipping out. But after a loss like that, especially when it's out of the blue, I didn't really expect him. I don't really expect that to hold up. But he's also been a guy, man, who said he's wanted to take a break, like after his last 4 fights. Like he said he's wanted to take a break, but he just hasn't done it yet. So I think this is kind of his way of saying, I'm kind of forcing a break upon myself by saying I'm retired, so don't call me. Like he said, he tried that last time. He's like, UFC, don't call me. I want to take a break, and he signs a fight like a week later. Like, you know what I mean? So I mean, if you're retired, then it's kind of hard to actually get that call for a fight. Kind of like we saw with Anthony Johnson, man.
Rumble. That's my
boy.
guy.
That's your boy. I don't know. I think Derek Lewis will be back. I think he'll be back maybe 6 months from now. That's my time frame. Over under 6 months. That's the official line I'm setting. That's the official slip and dip line. When will Derek Lewis be back? 6 months. Over under. Sound off. Let me know what you think. Over or under 6 months.
So for our main events, I got Holly and I got Ward next week. What's your predictions for next week?
I'm done. I'm right there with you. I'm with Ward and Holly. I mean, obviously Ward Kovalev is going to be a little bit tougher to decide because that's more of an even matchup. I just don't see how Betch wins the fight. I'm sorry. Like, it's a one-sided show for me on this fight.
Right.
Yeah, I just don't see a way. I don't see the path to victory for. I've tried to find one. I just don't see it. Just do not see it. Unfortunately. But yeah, man, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. Anything else you want to get off your chest before we sign off on episode number 8, Calm Before the Storm?
Watch how Andre Ward makes adjustments from last fight to this fight, and how he gets hit a lot less because getting hit isn't cool, and that's why we will have and still unified light heavyweight champion of the world, Andre SOG Ward.
And with that, we out.